Hi there, I'm gonna do what I eat in the day video today because I just wanted to share what I eat. I still feel nauseous and I've come to the point to where, I figure it doesn't really matter what I eat, I still feel the same. Of course, if I eat too much at once, I feel worse afterwards, so I try to eat smaller portions, but I eat a lot throughout the day. Sorry, I have a croissant in the hot air oven for my daughter, and I'm gonna make my first breakfast now. And I have a big glass of water. I try to drink 4 or 5 of these a day. And although it is really hard because it does make me nauseous, I try to sip here and there. It does help. And yes, I have the occasional pimple right here. Oh well, if that's all, right? So first breakfast at around 7:30ish. I have some beautiful bread here. I get this from a local bakery. It's an award-winning bakery. This is so delicious. It's all whole grain and organic. So I put a little bit of butter on there, and I love also organic butter. Thinly slice an organic tomato. And I love this tomato on the bread. I have some herb salt that I got in the Alp Mountains. This is so good. These herbs are delicious. And might as well use the rest of the tomato. I'm not gonna waste it. This is so good. Yummy. So I'm gonna sit down and eat my plate now. I'm going for my 30-minute walk, the morning walk with my doggie, and I love the air in the forest. Sorry about the sun, it's coming from behind me. It's so fresh and it really does help the nausea. I do this a couple times a day. And just getting my system going, and that's a good workout because it's quite steep. Right, buddy? Are we having fun? Yes, we are. For my second breakfast that I'm gonna have around 10, I actually usually use my homemade granola, but I just ran out of it yesterday. I used the last of it. So I'm gonna make some homemade granola and show you how I do it. I think it's really easy and it's so much better than the store-bought because you can control how much sugar you wanna put in there. I have 2 baskets where I keep a bunch of the stuff that I use for my granola. So there's a bunch of oats and different kinds of flakes. These are millet flakes and quinoa flakes I got here. And buckwheat flakes, and puffed quinoa, and these wheat puffs that are not sweetened, and a bunch of other stuff. Okay, so I'm just gonna put the dry ingredients now. I have my oats, and I try to use organic whenever I can. I have, what else do we have? I'm actually not gonna make it that fancy today. I want a little bit of the puffed quinoa. That's always good. Makes it a little bit lighter. And gives it some volume. And some of the puffed spelt. And I also really like pumpkin seeds. These do so well. I think they taste so good in this. Good amount. And these are all the pecans that I have left, so I'm just gonna go ahead and chop them up and put them all in there. Now I'm gonna put together all the wet ingredients and the spices. Some butter, and you can use as much or as little as you want. You just need as much liquid that you need to cover all the dry ingredients. And I like to kind of do 50%, like half butter and half coconut oil. Once it's all melted, I'm gonna add some of my spices. I love spices. Cinnamon, anise, ginger, cardamom, vanilla, pinch of salt, and I got this little mill with vanilla in there. It's got dried vanilla beans in there, and I love this. I just put some in there. I think it's delicious. And then I add, for sweetening, some maple syrup. You just add as much as you want. Now just add it. And what I love is the variety. Literally, you just need as many wet ingredients as you need to cover, like to make it all wet, you know, to make sure it's all nice and moist. And you can add whatever nuts you want. If you add cashews or almonds, they tend to burn easily, so you want to just watch out. When I add raisins, I add them after I bake the stuff. I just spread it out on a baking sheet, and I'm going to bake it for about 15 minutes or so until it's lightly golden. You don't want to make it too dark. Okay, it was in the oven for about 15 minutes. I took it out. Now here's the thing. I love mine chunky, like big chunks. And for that, I let it cool off all the way, and then I break it up and turn it around so that then it can bake for another 10 minutes on the other side. Because right now, now it would be soggy on the bottom, and if you just crumble it up right now, it's just gonna make little, basically like just toasted oats, which is not what I want. I want granola, which is like chunky. So I'm gonna let it cool now. Okay, it's cooled down. Now I'm just gonna kind of take it and break it up. And now, because it is cooled down fully, it's chunky. And it's actually easier to use like a spoon. See how now, like on the other side it's still a little bit soft and gooey. So we want that crunchy. So I'm just gonna turn that around and then bake it for another 10 minutes. And it's gonna be crunchy and chunky. I'm using some full fat plain green yogurt. And full fat is so important. It satisfies, and full fat dairy is proven to be the best when you're pregnant. I read that in many studies. Now I'm adding some of this right here. This is called Green Mother. I think I've shown it before. I like the taste of it when it's in the yogurt, and I'll read to you what's in there. Okay, there are too many ingredients, but to name a few, there's wheatgrass, spinach, moringa, alfalfa, tulsi, barley grass, broccoli sprouts, spirulina, brown algae, chlorella, and there are some medicinal mushrooms, reishi, cordyceps, shiitake, and apple, papaya, acerola, rosehip, pineapple, stinging nettle, and grape seed extract, green tea, licorice root, CoQ10, rosemary, bromelain. I don't know what to call it all because it's all in German, but I think it's pretty good and I like the taste of it. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of this in here. It does give the yogurt some good flavor, I think. Like I said, it's just a little bit. I stir it in there. And now I add my toppings. I love cacao nibs because they're nice and crunchy. Some flax seeds, nice fresh blueberries. And for even more crunch, my freshly made homemade granola. It's just cooled a little bit. I love this. I just have been loving this so much. Love the crunch. All right, it is time for lunch. It's about 1 o'clock, so I'm gonna get started. I already got started, or my daughter actually did this. She put the rice in the rice cooker, so that's going. It's actually almost done, and so now what I'm gonna do is make some salad, like just a lettuce here. And this was so dirty. I just got it at the farmer's market, and yeah, this is local, and it's been raining, so you can tell it's full of soil. I mean, I really picked the worst leaves already, so I cleaned it up here a bit. I'm just gonna make my own dressing now. So for my dressing, I just put some olive oil, and I just eyeball it. Some white balsamico vinegar, and I'm almost out of it. I need to get more vinegar. A little bit of Dijon mustard. And I got these frozen herbs, so that is so practical. So they're like fresh, except you don't have to chop them. It's very practical. And a little bit of salt. I would put pepper, but my daughter hates pepper, so I'm just gonna use this. I'm gonna go ahead and put the lettuce in here, but I'm not gonna mix it up yet because it does wilt very quickly. So just put it in there so it's all prepared. Okay, now I'm gonna make the main course. Some olive oil. I'm adding some just white mushrooms. And also I'm just gonna go ahead and add this. I think it's okay just to put it all in one. This is just some meat from the local meat market, and it's a gyros, so it's already seasoned, and I love it. There's some onions in there already also. So basically I just have to cook this up, and then I'm gonna add some cream. Alright, now I'm adding the cream. This is heavy whipping cream, and it's also organic. And put the lid on, let this cook for about, only takes about 5 to 8 minutes or so. I'll turn it down just a bit. Alright, that looks pretty good. I'm just now gonna add a little bit of starch dissolved in some cold water so it thickens the sauce. It just makes it all a little nicer and sticky to the rice. And probably I'm gonna taste it, but it probably needs a little bit more salt. Yeah, not a lot, but it's always good to taste it before. But usually the cream is just very mild, it has no taste. So this is the finished product. I can tell you this is very, very yummy. And my daughter's very hungry now, and so am I. Alright, it's 4:15. I actually just had laid down and took a little nap. I'm still a little sleepy. And oh, that feels so good to take a nap, because then when I lie down, everything feels so good. I don't feel any nausea. It's coming back now, so I'm gonna have a shake now. So I put some frozen bananas, fresh strawberries, and I had a couple of apricots that were just about to be over, so I had to use them up. And I'm gonna put 1 tablespoon, maybe a little bit more, of some whey protein powder. It's very natural. There's only whey protein, natural vanilla, and stevia in there. Now just adding some whole milk. So I'm making one for my daughter too, because she loves these. Probably she never drinks everything, so I'll just make mine full. So good. Alright, making my dinner. I'm the only one eating this, so I'm just gonna put some tomatoes and mozzarella and make little layers. Just gonna take some beautiful extra virgin olive oil, also organic. I try to get organic whenever possible, and it's not really that terribly expensive here where I live. Try to also buy local and seasonal. And tomatoes are definitely in season right now, so they're really good right now. With some white balsamic vinegar. I don't have any other. And that's all I have left. I need to buy groceries tomorrow. And then I'm also going to use some crema di balsamico. It's just like a cream, balsamic cream. I love this. Kind of stays on there nicely. Herb salt. This is so good. And now, of course, the last thing that's gonna make it so delicious is some fresh basil. I'm gonna put that on there also. So, this is it right here, and I absolutely love this in the summer. The fresh tomatoes, the fresh mozzarella, and the basil, and the nice oil and vinegar. This is so good. So this is it for today. Probably I might snack on some fruit and nut mix. I had some fruit and nut mixes, different ones. Some of them I mix myself, depending on how I feel after eating. Usually I don't really want to eat anything else. Struggling to drink enough. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you for one of my next videos for more updates. Have a great day.